Welcome to another edition of Recovery Monday. I'm J. Michael McCoy, and if I haven't told you lately, thanks for listening. I love this job, and I couldn't do it without you. This is Recovery Monday, brought to you by the good folks up at Unity Point Health, Powell CDC, Lila Stafford, otherwise known as Coco, in the studio with us today, and she is a professional addiction counselor.
Yes.
All right. And Bob Montserrat, the cat in the hat, and he is for Tuesday with 3 more days, a forensic scientist with the state of Iowa.
Oh, that's sad.
That's what all of his coworkers are saying too.
I know.
Yeah, they are. And I'll still be a forensic scientist. I just won't be that for the state of Iowa.
Okay. You're still going to be active in DMORT?
Yes.
Okay. And Bob is here because he watches our chat. So if you log on at webcast1live.com and visit the chat, you're able to talk to us that way. That way you don't have to call or go via message on Facebook. Or you can look us up on Facebook. You can give us a call at 244-0077, and we always look forward to hearing from you. Ryan and Carl producing today, and our special guest is Gunner. Now, there's a reason why many people who seek recovery also seek anonymity. I did that pretty good. And Gunner is one of those. So you're going to have to trust Lila and I and Bob that he is who he is, and what he's telling you is the truth. But when the camera is on him, you'll just see our typical silhouette. And Gunner, we appreciate you being here today. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, Mac.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure to have you here. And we always respect people's anonymity. So glad you brought that up. How many years you been sober?
I've been sober a little over 6.5 years.
6.5 years. Congratulations. Do you remember the first time you tasted liquor?
I do. I'll never forget the first time I tasted liquor.
Tell me about it.
It was truly an amazing experience for me. I fell in love with alcohol at that moment, and it was almost like it was a life-changing event for me. But I remember at the moment, after the first sip, I looked at my life, and it was a good life, and I thought, wow, I've been missing out. This is the good stuff. Imagine how great my life would be if I had more of this.
How old were you?
I was 18.
Wow. You waited long.
After high school?
Yes, after graduation.
Cool.
That's kind of unusual, isn't it?
Yeah. Most of the people we get in treatment start around 14.
Yeah, 14.
15.
Had you ever been introduced to it, and you just thought?
I guess I'd had a few sips before then, but that was really that was the life-changing event where it was like, wow, this is the good stuff, and I got to get more of it.
Was there alcohol in your family? Was there alcohol available in other people's homes or anything?
Well, I'd say, I don't come from a family of teetotalers, but I also don't come from a big partying family. So I guess opportunities were there before, but that's just when I happened to take advantage of it.
See, I thought my daughter made it till she was 8. I mean, both my kids made it through high school, and I thought, good, we've got it going here. And then, that wasn't true.
Yeah, she hit college and...
Yeah.
Well, and you know my story. I didn't drink till I was 34 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, I was the guy that would have a gin and tonic, and the melt would, the ice would melt, and then I wouldn't finish it. And I didn't like the taste of beer, and the only wine I liked was communion wine. So, and then 34, yeah. So it happens to different people at different times. And yours was really a college experience.
Well, I actually started drinking the summer before college.
Okay.
But you're right that my drinking career was in college. I joined a fraternity, and we partied pretty hard. So I was, it was a party, and everybody. I mean, we were all drinking hard, and that's just the world that I was in while I was drinking.
How did your personality change? Because I know you a little bit, not a lot, but you're quiet. You're fairly reserved. When you say something, it's important. You're not like me, just a bumbling bucket of words.
I'd say I just got a little quieter until I got mad, and when I got mad, it was bad.
Bad.
So when you were drinking and mad, you would be more mad. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's almost like a light switch would go off, and I'd go from being this calm, collected guy to this, raging alcoholic,
Yeah.
saying mean things and breaking things. And, I guess I just thought, if I could just, get this anger thing under control, I'd have a lot of fun drinking.
Did you ever get angry as a high school kid or a middle school kid?
I'd say I would get angry, but this was beyond anger. This was rages coming from deep down within me that I didn't know I was capable of.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever you start out, I mean, if you start out mad and you drink, it's not going to be a good drink. Or if you start out, it emphasizes whatever's going on underneath.
And I know this is a Christian radio station, and this is going to sound funky to people. And I've been sober for 1,569 days, and I have no intention of taking that back. But my spirituality, my connection with God, was actually clearer when I would sit there and I would be all by myself and the TV was off and the lights were off and I'm just sipping my gin and tonic in the dark. God and I could have some amazing conversations. I'm not saying we don't now, but they were different and they weren't bad. I wasn't angry. I wasn't mad. I don't know. It just seemed like we could melt.
Have you tried that? Have you tried that sober?
Oh, and I do every night. I do every night. But when I was drinking, here's the funny thing. When I was drinking, all of a sudden I just wake up and it'd be the next morning. Mm-hmm. Where now, okay, time to go to sleep. Thank you, God, for a wonderful day, and these are the things I really appreciated that you did for me today, and I'm excited about what you have in store for me tomorrow, and bless my family, and if there's somebody in particular on my prayer list, and then I always say the Serenity Prayer, and then I say the Lord's Prayer, and then I go to sleep. But I don't. I just stay awake. I can't seem to just get into that sleeping mode. So I've gotten to the point now where I have a laptop next to my bed and I listen to sermons. And I'll just wake up in the middle of the night and realize that I must have listened to the sermon because it's no longer on.
Yeah.
But Gunner is our guest today, 6.5 years sober. First started drinking in the summer between high school and college, and then got involved in fraternities and other things like that. Now, was school academically difficult for you?
It wasn't. I guess looking back, it wasn't that difficult. I was able to drink 4 or 5 nights a week and make honor roll. So
Okay.
I couldn't do that sober.
So, what were the pressures? Where were the pressures coming from to continue your drinking career and picking it up and going more and going more?
I love to drink. I couldn't get enough of it, and fraternity life I just thought was great. Here I could, I had people to drink with all the time, anytime I wanted to drink.
Yeah, because in a fraternity, I was in a fraternity also. I was a Phi Delta at the University of Nebraska, and yeah, it was not unusual to pop a keg at 5 a.m. in the morning and have the Bloody Mary bar out there.
Yeah.
I don't think of it as pressure. I mean, it may be like that, but if you're just out for fun, you just think, let's just have some fun here.
Let's just do this.
Well, looking back now, I realize that I probably enjoyed drinking a lot more than the other guys did. But actually, in early sobriety, that's what was tough, was for me to look at a bunch of people who were drinking more than I was, maybe not doing as well academically, and saying, yes, I'm the alcoholic and I need to get sober. And, this person might just be a heavy drinker and might not be an alcoholic.
And so you clearly saw the disease of alcoholism.
I guess I see it now. I didn't see it at the time.
You didn't see it at the time. And so how many years into your college until you stopped drinking?
It was the fall of my senior year.
The fall of my senior year. And what happened that made you want to quit drinking? Because you'd had a 4-year career that had gone pretty well, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I guess I was doing pretty well. I had a girlfriend. I'd met a girl that summer, and it was a summer romance, and you know, that summer was probably one of the most blissful times of my life. You know, she was a big drinker, I was a big drinker, and we just, you know, it was great, just, you know, careening from bar to bar, and very, you know, I was clearly in love, and so going into the fall of my senior year, you know, I felt pretty good. You know, here's this, you know, beauty queen that I've got that I'm dating. You know, again, I'm doing well academically. You know, I'm drinking as often as I want to. And then I guess that all came crashing down in a sense. What happened was she actually didn't go to school anywhere near where I went to school. Again, we met
over the summer.
Yes. So she was flying in for homecoming, and she flew in for homecoming because it's a big party weekend, and you know, we were going to party it up that weekend. And so what happened was, you know, I would one of the things I really liked to do was I liked to shotgun beers. And
I don't know what that means.
okay, well, what that is, it's when you take a beer can and you cut a hole in not the end with the pop top.
The other one.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
Oh.
and then you take it all at once.
Yeah, and it just runs down your
Yeah,
throat.
yeah. And
Okay.
I couldn't get enough of that. And then I'd do other things to, I guess, enhance the enjoyment of
Jägermeister?
shotgunning beers. So anyway, so it wasn't uncommon for me to be at a party and just, you know, shotgun 12 of these beers in a row
Wow.
or 16 in a row. You know, I'd get other people to do them with me, and we basically just do this until the case was gone. So she came, and I was at a party, and I just, you know, did the typical shotgun 12 or 16 of these things, and obviously she didn't take too kindly to me ignoring her at the party. I'm pretty out of it at this point. But we got into a fight, and then the next morning we broke up. And what I was so anyway, so I'm a mess because you know, I love this girl, and she's just said see ya. So I didn't know what to do, and that's probably the darkest moment in my life.
So she turned around and just go home?
Yeah, she flew
Whoa.
home. So I'm looking forward, and I just, you know, normally you look forward, you kind of have an idea of the future. I see nothing. I'm like, this is it. So I didn't know what to do. So I call Mom, and Mom actually, I went to school probably 1,500 miles away. She actually comes and flies and stays with me for a week, and we kind of went over my life. And you know, at this point, I had two loves. I loved alcohol, and I loved this girl. And looking at what happened, I I lost the girl, and it was because of my drinking. So I go from being this, you know, in my mind, my crazy mind, I go from being this, you know, cool fraternity guy with a hot girlfriend to being this guy who, you know, no girlfriend, can't handle his liquor. And I went from being top of the world to you know, perceiving myself as a failure. I'd failed at drinking, which was very important to me, and I'd failed at this relationship, which at the time was very important to me.
But yet you were on a roll in school, GPA of what?
3.75.
And yet you determined success or failure based on your ability to hold your liquor or even drink at all, and then the relationship with this girl. All right, we're going to take our first break, and when we come back, this is honest stuff, folks. I mean, this is what recovery is all about. I've had people who listen to this radio station for the other programming that it has, and it's just on. It's on their dial, and here comes this odd duck in the middle of the afternoon with, you know, people talking about alcoholism and addiction and how Christ impacts their life, and this is it. This is the realest radio you're ever going to hear. And why do we do it? Because we think God moves in the middle of this to maybe help you. Gunner's my guest. Bob and Lila are here, and we'll be back on 99.3 KTIA, Iowa.
A father who is headed toward another heart attack. A woman who struggles daily with diabetes and her memory. A boy whose headaches keep him out of school. A mother who one morning discovers a lump. A girl whose condition defies diagnosis. You come to us because you need answers, but you also need more. You need understanding of what you're going through. You need comfort. You need to be treated as an individual, not a condition. You need to be included in your own care. You are the point of everything we do. That's why we're changing to Unity Point Health. It's a model of care that will help us work better together, where the physician who knows you best takes the lead, coordinating your care through every step, from the hospital to specialists to rehabilitation to health services in the home and in the community, to making sure the treatments are effective. By working as a team, we surround you with care, helping you manage your health and your conditions, guiding you to making better choices and living a healthier life. The point of Unity is you. Unity Point Health.
Get away from us, you mean old credit card. We don't have any more money. We're in trouble now. Save us! Help! Somebody save us! Somebody help! Help! Save us!
Hi, I'm Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of Des Moines. If your credit card's a little too animated, give us a call.
Hooray! We're saved! Consumer Credit, you're our hero!
See 'em here, see 'em there. You got bad credit, we don't care.
Visit emetroford.com for your guaranteed credit approval. Good credit, bad credit, no credit. Everybody drives with guaranteed credit approval at emetroford.com. Visit emetroford.com today.
If Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of America was your personal webmaster, Tom would filter out all bad debt emails. If Tom was your mailman, you'd never get any debt reduction junk mail. If Tom Coates was a lineman, he'd block any phone calls offering to reduce your credit card debt.
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America, and we're still your best choice for credit counseling. We're local, we're accountable, and we can do more. You make the call when the time's right for you.
When it comes to competition, there really is none for Consumer Credit of America.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Welcome back to Recovery Monday, brought to you by Powell CDC. It's the 25th day of August in the Lord's year 2014. If you're watching this or listening to it live, thank you very much. We know there are many things you can be doing from 3 to 4 in the afternoon, but we appreciate you being here. Now, if you are one of the literally thousands of people who will download this, who have subscribed to our RSS feed, who will watch it in recovery meetings across the country, including at Powell, thank you also. The reason we give you the date so as you can have a timestamp of when this happened. Gunner may choose to come back on in 6 months, and we want to, mark that recovery and mark that difference. And so that's the reason we tell you what the day and the date is. My guest is Gunner. The camera's not on him, and will not use his real name. You just have to appreciate the fact that anonymous is necessary for some people in these programs, and yet he's willing to step forward and share his story. So why? I mean, if you think about it, it's pretty selfless. I mean, he's not going to get any credit for it. It doesn't make him look good. His buddies aren't going to come around and say, oh, good job on the show. They're not going to know. Well, he does it to help you. If not you, maybe someone you love. Maybe your pastor. Maybe the next door neighbor. I don't know if you realize this. Maybe you don't want to realize it. But you know someone who is suffering from drugs and alcohol. You may want to turn your other head. It may be your little brother or your big sister or your mom or dad or your pastor. but you know somebody. And this show is not for them, it's for you. Helping you understand the signs of alcohol and addiction. Helping you understand those things that you know are true, but you want to deny them. And remember, denial is not only a river in Egypt. It is a part of enabling and just the messy part of addiction and alcoholism. All right, Gunner, so the love of your life has walked out on you because you got too drunk and made a fool of yourself.
Or that's what I thought.
That's what you thought. What was the real reason?
Well, I guess looking back now, I may have made a little more out of the relationship than she was making. But anyway, you know, I didn't think I was an alcoholic at the time.
Yeah.
So.
Did anybody ever tell you you were? I mean, did any of your brothers at the fraternity say, dude, you're more than just a good drinker?
No, not really.
Okay.
So.
No OWIs, no public intox?
No, I stayed out of trouble. But I was fortunate because I went to a small school where, you know, everybody looked out for everybody, kept everybody out of trouble.
I think sometimes, though, we think that everyone else is drinking as much as we are. I mean, even in the fraternity and sorority thing. But there comes a point when they may stop, and we keep going, and we're egging other people on, thinking that everyone else is with us. And I didn't realize that until I was sober, that I was the one egging other people on, and that lots of people quit before I did. I just didn't know it.
Yeah, I had a couple of those experiences, and they were hair on the back of my neck stuff, you know, to go someplace where I used to go. And now I'm not drinking, and everybody starts out at 9 o'clock, and we're all okay. And, you know, by 11 or 11:30, I'm watching what I used to do.
Oh, yeah.
And it is just uncanny. It's very unsettling.
I had many years of that because I'm a photographer and did lots of events in Des Moines. And I could just, I have events nailed down now. I know exactly how long it is before people really get drunk.
Yeah.
But when I watch these drunk people, I feel like I'm just looking at myself.
Yeah. All right, Gunner. So mom comes back and helps you kind of have a good look at your life. It's good you have a relationship like that with your mom. Tell us what happened next.
Okay, so mom comes and visits, and I really needed her because at this point I'm so distraught. I'm not functioning very well. So I basically, she gets a hotel room nearby, and I get up, I go to class, and then I go and chat with her, basically until midnight, and then I go back to the off-campus fraternity house where I'm living, and go to sleep. And nobody had just seen me all that week. So finally Friday, some guy, just came over to make sure I was still okay. And at this point, I don't think I have that big of a drinking problem. And my thinking is, well, I'll just, not drink for 3 months. And then clearly these problems that have been created by drinking will go away.
Yeah, that proves that I'm not an alcoholic, right?
And then I can ease back into it. And next time it will be better. And I'll be able to basically control my drinking.
Lila, as people who hang around drunks a lot, we've heard that before, haven't we?
God. Absolutely. But everyone thinks that.
Gunner, my story was that I quit drinking for 21 days. And I had just proved to my friends that I wasn't an alcoholic. And so I took them all out for martinis. That's how we celebrated my 21 days of sobriety.
And clearly I couldn't have been an alcoholic because I'm only 21 years old.
That's right.
I'm making good grades.
Yeah.
So just, this is just a rough patch. And after, the problems kind of settle down, I'll get back into it. But nothing got better. Again, I'm living in an off-campus fraternity house with my drinking buddies, and I'm trying not to drink, and it was just miserable. And everybody knew I was struggling. They knew I was struggling. But I didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do. So it was just a very just a period of misery in my life.
Did you stay in and they would go out, or how did that work?
Yeah, I didn't know what people who didn't drink did. So,
oh God, I can remember that too.
So I would just basically Friday would roll around and I'd just lock myself in my room and I'd sit in a chair and my activity would be not drinking.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I resemble that remark. Yeah. Well, what are we going to do tonight? We're not going to drink. Well, I understand that, but you're going to watch a movie? You're going to study? No, I'm going to focus on not drinking. How was your sleeping cycles?
Oh, I couldn't sleep at all.
Okay.
And I was craving sugar really bad.
Yeah.
About 5 o'clock, I'd go and I'd always grab a nice big sundae from Dairy Queen. But again, you know, I'm not an alcoholic. You know, this was a bad breakup, and I'm sure, you know, if enough time passes, I'll be able to you know, resume what I was doing.
Do you have any communication with this young lady at all?
No, I
Did you then?
Well, actually,
I mean, are you trying to call her and say, "Baby, I'm sorry, I'm not drinking"?
No, and that's probably one of the motivations for why I was able to stay sober without pretty much white knuckling it.
Yeah.
Early on was because I had two pretty big fears. One fear was that girl, and then another fear was drinking. Because my fear was, you know, I'd get drunk and then I'd call her up, and we'd end up getting back together. And at this point, I could see that, you know, she was drinking hard, I was drinking hard. You know, it wasn't a good relationship. And I could see that, so I was trying to get out of it, even though I had very strong feelings for her.
But you had to be sober to figure that out.
The wheels were coming off before that night, but...
All right. Because what I hear you saying is when you got drunk, you'd want your emotions to take the lead, and you'd try to get back together with her, which would have been a bad thing. But if you stayed sober, you knew that you weren't going to put your big toe in that pond again.
Yeah, I think that was part of the motivation. And I did actually believe that, you know, if I didn't drink for long enough, I'd start to feel better. And, you know, the longer I didn't drink, the more miserable I felt.
Now, did your mother think you were an alcoholic?
I don't know if she thought I was an alcoholic. I know that she thought that I drank too much. And, of course, the only thing she knew to help with that would be AA.
At least she knew that. You know, a lot of families where they don't have alcoholics in the family,
Yeah.
they wouldn't even know to call AA.
They wouldn't know to call any 12-step program.
Right.
Gunner is my guest today. Lila Stafford is my co-host. She is a substance abuse counselor at Powell CDC. Bob Montserrat, the cat in the hat, watching the chat. And, of course, Ryan and Carl producing today. You know, I think a lot of people know somebody like Gunner, like Mac, like Lila in their life. And they ignore it. Or they just yell and scream at it and hope it goes away. And then there are those of us, me included, that live in denial. And we don't want to admit that we have a problem. And my problem isn't as big as yours. And, of course, that was common for me being in the business I was in. Because I could always find somebody that was stupider, did more stupid things, drank more, got drunk, so I wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is that there is a point in your drinking career, like Gunner just got to, that you really have to put the plug in the jug. And you have to surrender. You can't just wait until you hit a low bottom, until you get in trouble, until the worst of the worst and your fears come true. And you finally, out of pressure, you run away from the bottle. But what do you run to? What do you run to? Well, Powell CDC gives you an opportunity through this program to run to a treatment center. A lot of times people say, oh, I don't know if I call 263-2424 and I don't know anybody there and I'll be so embarrassed, and what if somebody recognizes my name? Well, good news. You've got two people right here connected with Powell. You've got Lila and you've got myself that you can pick up the phone and you can call, or you can email. You shared a story once about a lady that called you out, and there was an issue with someone in her family, and she felt comfortable because she felt like she knew you from being on the radio, which after being on the radio for 40 years, that is true, especially when we're as transparent as we are on this program. Yeah. We're very out who we are, and so the good news is you now have somebody. You've got that girlfriend at church, and You guys all get together and have some wine and a Bible study? Yeah, you're having a Bible study. But this one young lady, this one girl, this one mother, this one grandmother just always seems to take it too far. She's the one that laughs the loudest. She's the one that spills the wine. She's the one that gets a little sloppy with her language and somebody says, TMI, Gladys, TMI. Well, now you know how to help her. And nobody with little white coats is going to come running to your house. We're not going to trace your number. We're not going to go to GPS and find out where you called from like some Marvel comics say they do. We're just going to sit back and give you the information and the power that you need. Because believe it or not, there's a lot of power in powerless. When somebody finally decides to quit drinking or quit using, they think, oh, I'm going to surrender. You know, I don't know about you guys, but when I grew up, surrender was a bad thing. You played cops and robbers. You played cowboys and Indians. You didn't want to surrender. You give up the white flag on the field. You didn't want to surrender. Surrender meant loser. Well, when it comes to alcohol and other addictions, you're a winner when you choose to surrender, because you surrender to a power greater than yourself. You surrender to something that you hand yourself over to. And if you are true to form and you truly do that, then there's help for you. That first step comes from Powell CDC. Call Lila. Call the switchboard, 263-2424. Call me, Facebook me, email me, whatever you want to do. Reach out. If it's that girlfriend, it's the spouse, it's your sibling, it's your child, it's your grandchild, it's somebody at church, reach out. We want to help and we want to talk. When we come back, the miraculous story, and it is a miraculous story of how Gunner finally put the plug in the jug and realized whom his greater power in life was. That's next here on Recovery Monday on KTIA, Iowa.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner and general manager of Service Legends. I brought along a couple of the home comfort heroes.
Hi, I'm Tammy Wells.
I am Nick Wonderscheid.
I'm administrative manager.
I am the senior technician
from Service Legends.
It seems like every good thing, when you feel it to the bone that it's good, there's a lot of hard work put behind it. I don't think that you can fake it and have it turn out good.
You know, if we seem like, okay, that's just weird, it's just a furnace, why would you believe so deeply in a furnace? It's not just that, you know, we want to show the world that you can have good service.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta be, it's your home.
You know, it's built into our daily trainings, it's built into our culture, that we're gonna do whatever it takes to have each client say they love us, period.
That's why we spend all the hours in the training that we do. And if we guarantee it's gonna be a good experience for you, or else it's free, what type of work do you think we're gonna do?
There is a guarantee.
Temperature selection guarantee, fixed right or it's free guarantee, comfort guarantee, best value guarantee. All of these guarantees hold us accountable to ensuring that we exceed your expectations. And if for whatever reason we'd fail and we can't make it right, we guarantee all of those guarantees with a 100% money back guarantee.
I mean, if you don't think that your technician can fix it right, are you gonna say that to a client? No.
You don't have to worry about having a technician come to your house.
We drug test, background check all of our team members. We put safe people in your home. Each and every one of our service techs, 400 hours a year in training.
You tell it the minute they walk in the door. They know what they're doing, they've done their homework, and they actually truly care about what you want.
Because at the end of the day, you're the person that makes sure I have a job.
They're gonna be listening. They're gonna wanna know what your challenges are. Then they're gonna come and give you options, and you get to choose.
If I'm there to help and I make it easy and painless, I did my job right that day.
Well, when it comes to your comfort, safety, and your family, you know, you don't necessarily go buy the most expensive, but you get the most bang for your buck.
Oh, it's worth it, because there's a lot of people that will find a way to get it to work right now and then leave and then come back, charge you again, and the cycle just repeats itself. So when I'm out there looking at the furnace, I want to find why it failed today. How can we change the part today with something that you're not going to have to worry about? Is it worth changing the part today? I mean, you can put a lot of money into a furnace. I can fix parts all day. There's good job security in that for me. But is it the right thing for you?
I get a lot of the phone calls of after the technicians are there. They're just in awe. They're like, wow, you guys are great. I mean, I don't even know what to say. You guys are great. Everything you did was perfect. It was great.
Keep going though. I like this.
Just give us a try. I'm gonna take all the risk.
I've got the time to make this right. I've got the support to make it right.
Just check us out.
And if you don't see the value in what we do,
I mean, fixed right or it's free or 100% money back.
enough said.
Welcome back to Recovery Monday on this 25th day of August in the Lord's year 2014. I'm J. Michael McCoy, and Lila Stafford is in the house. She, of course, is our resident addiction and alcohol specialist. And Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat, in his last few hours of being an active and employed forensic scientist. Now, I just wonder, Bob, in just a few short hours, your lab will be gone. Your fellow scientists will no longer be with you. The white lab coat will be just a costume. Oh. Do you think you'll go down to the river with your little white lab coat on and your pocket protector and your toy microscope and catch flies and dissect them, or little froggy legs or something?
No, I'll be shoveling manure.
That's right, he will be. Bob and his family bought a horse farm about a year ago, and that has prompted his early retirement. But you'll still be here.
Yes.
You're not retiring from the show.
Yes, and I don't consider that an early retirement.
After 35 and a half years?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, Lila, you know what's going to happen to us now that he's retiring. We're going to have to come to work with like pins on our noses. Because when you shovel it, you can't smell it. Just like when you drink it, you can't smell it, but everybody else around you knows.
Yes, and that's the other thing I decided too, is that I wasn't going to shower anymore. So.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
We changed
Once
his
you
name to
retire.
Oliver Wendell Douglas. All right, our guest today is Gunner, and you won't see him, and we're obviously not using his real name. Did your mother name you Gunner at birth? No. And that's okay, because a big part of this program for a lot of people is the anonymity, anonymous part. And we respect people, because he's still willing to come on and share his story in the hopes that it'll help you or somebody you know. All right, so you don't think you're an alcoholic. You are not drinking, and that has become your obsession, fair to say? Your obsession is not to drink.
I don't know. This is a very fearful time of my life.
Okay.
So just very, very afraid
Okay.
of a lot of anxiety. And it took a long time for me to kind of get a grasp on basically how I drank differently than everybody else, and how I was an alcoholic, because of course in this environment that I was in, you know, everybody was drinking a lot.
Yeah.
So what happened was, I guess I dabbled in a 12-step program that was related to alcohol. And it was just a good place to be, because when I was there, I was with people who weren't drinking. Because in the environment that I was in, everybody was drinking a lot.
Yeah.
And just to be around people who weren't drinking was peaceful for me. And I remember at one of those first instances, there was a guy, and he was like, "Man, if I could control my drinking, I'd drink all the time." And I was like, me too. You know, if I could just get the hang of this, you know, this would be great. So it took a long time after that for me to realize that I was an alcoholic. And what happened was, I went to a fraternity party, one of my old fraternity parties, and I didn't drink. I just went and I guess did research. And I watched the other fraternity members drink. And it became very clear to me that my drinking was different than their drinking. You know, it was 4 in the morning, or it was 4 in the afternoon. People were shotgunning beers, and they'd shotgun one and they would stop. And that was just, I mean, I never stopped. I would shotgun 9 more. So that was different. Nobody was running around, you know, like a maniac with their shirts off. And that's when it just kind of hit home. You know, I'm an alcoholic, and I need to do something about it. I need to do what alcoholics do so I can get better.
When you were drinking, though, did you think everyone was doing it along with you?
Yes,
Yeah,
I didn't think
me
I was
too.
that unique.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Gunner is my guest today. All right, so you're now attending 12-step meetings. When was it that you got it? You know, they talk in a 12-step program about a spiritual, what's the word they use after that in the 12-step? Having had a spiritual experience.
Awakening.
Awakening.
I guess I still, I think some people have had kind of a transformative experience where, you know, one day they're one way, and then the next day they're a completely different way. And I'd say I probably still don't have it, but I have had spiritual experiences and a lot of spiritual growth during my sober time. One experience that's kind of cool is so I've been in these 12-step meetings, and people are just sharing these amazing stories, like they got arrested for a DUI, they're on they're in jail, and they get on their knees in the jailhouse floor and they pray to their higher power, and just instantly their obsession to drink is removed. And I'm like, wow. And I really want to believe these stories, and I think they're amazing, but I still, there's this part of me that still wants to drink, and that just isn't how it happened for me. So I keep praying and doing the things that's suggested of me. And then one day I was praying and meditating, and that spiritual experience happened, and basically scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, right.
And my response to that was I went to my priest and asked him, am I crazy? Does this happen to people? And he said this is more common than you would think. And he talked to me about some of his spiritual experiences, and he really wanted me to think back to what happened and see if there was some message.
Can you describe what happened?
I really can't describe it,
Okay.
and if I were, it wouldn't do justice to what happened.
Did you feel it in your body though?
I'd say just an overwhelming presence of God.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to him, and basically the message of that spiritual experience, and it was that I was a Christian, and I needed to start being a better Christian.
Okay. And so that began a road of, well, let me back up. Were you filled with the Holy Spirit? Is that our words for it?
I don't know if I was filled with it, but I just an overwhelming sense of the Holy Spirit.
All right, because Paul talks in Romans about, first we are justified, and then we're called, and then we're justified, and then we're sanctified, and then we're glorified.
It was interesting because it was almost a sense that I'd been a Christian it's like I'd been a Christian all along.
Okay. It was peaceful.
So it was almost like God had been with me the whole time. I just needed to open my eyes.
Yeah.
What would you have said about your spirituality a year previous to that? If I said, "Are you a Christian?" How would you have answered?
I probably would have answered yes.
Okay. What would your heart have been telling you?
My heart probably would have been, I don't know. I probably would have considered myself a Christian.
All right. When we come back, Gunner is going to tell us what his life is like now, how the impact of 6.5 years of sobriety and a steady 12-step program, and being done with college and graduated and now moving on with his life, what he has to offer to somebody like you. Yeah, you. What he has to offer, what his story can do for someone in your life or even you. I'm J. Michael McCoy. If I haven't told you lately, thanks for listening. I love this job, and I couldn't do it without you. We're live right here on 99.3 KTIA, powered by webcast1live.com. Check us out. Facebook at webcast1live.com.
A father who is headed toward another heart attack. A woman who struggles daily with diabetes and her memory. A boy whose headaches keep him out of school. A mother who one morning discovers a lump. A girl whose condition defies diagnosis. You come to us because you need answers, but you also need more. You need understanding of what you're going through. You need comfort. You need to be treated as an individual, not a condition. You need to be included in your own care. You are the point of everything we do. That's why we're changing to Unity Point Health. It's a model of care that will help us work better together, where the physician who knows you best takes the lead, coordinating your care through every step, from the hospital to specialists to rehabilitation to health services in the home and in the community, to making sure the treatments are effective. By working as a team, we surround you with care, helping you manage your health and your conditions, guiding you to making better choices and living a healthier life. The point of Unity is you. Unity Point Health.
Get away from my Sumito credit card. We don't have any more money. We're in trouble now. Save us! Help! Somebody save us! Somebody help! Help! Save us!
Hi, I'm Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of Des Moines. If your credit card's a little too animated, give us a call.
Hooray! We're saved! Consumer Credit, you're our hero!
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
We're back on this edition of Recovery Monday. We sure appreciate you taking the time to listen to this program. Whether you're listening on one of the 144 American family radio stations or whether you're listening on the web, we sure appreciate it. We make our podcasts as available as we possibly can. Obviously, there's no charge for them. You can subscribe to our RSS feeds at webcast1live.com. And you can also go to Facebook, as most of the programs are posted there. Lila Stafford, our co-host, along with Bob Montserrat, Ryan and Carl producing. I'm J. Michael McCoy, and our special guest today has been Gunner. All right, you've been 6.5 years sober. How is your life different now than it was 6.5 years ago?
I'd say it's different. Mainly, I don't ever think I was a bad person. But when I was drinking, I would have all these intentions, and they were great intentions, but nothing ever became of them because I drank. And I'd say today, more so than back then, when I have good intentions, I'm able to follow through more often, and that feels good.
Yeah. You have no contact with that young lady?
I haven't. I guess I'm hopeful that at some point we'll be able just to sit down and chat about things, but that's not at this point something I'm going to force the issue on.
I think sometimes people are brought into our life just to teach us something.
Yeah.
And it sounds like she was there as a catalyst to get you into this.
Yeah,
maybe.
and I don't want to hurt your feelings. Don't take this personal, but you may call her up and say, "Hey, it's Gunner," and she goes, "Who? Oh, don't you remember we had that hot love affair that summer? Oh, you mean that guy I dated that got all goofy at the bar? Oh, yeah, I think I remember you." I mean,
it's a possibility.
Yeah. We learn in step 8 and 9 that there are some amends that don't need to be made, that there's too much pain that'll be gathered on one side or either side. She may consider herself an innocent bystander. On the other hand, you might be the voice that comes into her life 6.5 years later, and now she realizes that she has an alcohol problem. You never know. God will use this program and you as He chooses fit. So, what's your biggest? I mean, do you like to sponsor people? Do you like to share your story? In the meetings that you and I have been to, you always have something good to add. You're not windy. I mean, you don't go on and on and on like some people.
Well, I guess I'll tell you about another, I think, spiritual experience that happened to me recently. And again, you know, with these spiritual experiences, I don't know whether I'm hallucinating or, you know, but I feel like, you know, this is my higher power speaking to me. But this spring, you know, I'd graduated, I was moving, and just a lot of changes going on in my life. And I prayed to God, and I said, God, you know, what is my purpose? Why am I here? And it amazes me how prayers do get answered. And it was something like maybe 3 weeks later, in a dream, I experienced this blinding bright light that I've never experienced in my dreams before, and this voice, which which from the dream I felt was my higher power, just said, you know, love everybody. And really today, you know, I don't try to live life differently, but I try to live life more loving. So just I'm doing the same things I probably was doing. Obviously, I'm not drinking, but I'm living life. I'm living life, and I'm just trying to be a more loving person.
Well, and you know, that was the message of the gospel. People try to twist the gospel into something that benefits them politically or socially, whether it be a gay marriage issue or an abortion issue or a divorce issue or a mixed marriage issue or whatever it is. But what you just said is what Jesus said. Love thyself, love thy neighbor as thyself. That's it. And I think that's it. Because if we would all just love each other, what would the world be like? It'd be a lot different, wouldn't it?
That's why it was a new commandment that Jesus gave us the new commandment.
Yeah.
New commandment was love one another.
Yeah, he didn't give us 10 new ones.
No,
he gave us
the one.
The one.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, well, Gunnar, it's been a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to hear your story, and feel free to come back on anytime and maybe update us. Maybe when you hit 7 years, you know, come in and tell us.
Sure.
Because let me tell you something. If you're truly open to God working in your life, He's going to do it. It's not going to get passive. You're not going to be old and cranky like like Jim. And look back and, well, you know, there was 2002 when God told me to love everybody. He's going to continually to give you messages and to continually offer you things that you're supposed to pass on to other people. So keep yourself open to that, buddy.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
All right. And I want to congratulate your husband, who had 25 years of sobriety last Saturday.
Yeah.
And along with some friends of yours, Brad Young, who I think was Jim's first sponsor. Or no, I'm sorry. Jim was his first sponsor.
No, Jim was his second.
Okay, and still is.
Yeah, he's been there. He's been a sponsor for 20 years.
Yeah. And so Lila and Brad's wife, Christy, threw a wonderful mid-afternoon gala last Saturday. And, you know, this is going to sound funny, but there's nothing cooler than a room full of alcoholics.
Yeah.
Who are not drinking.
Yeah.
Because there is a commonality among all of us in that room, where if you just go to a party for whatever reason, everybody's always a little nervous. Who's this and what's the agenda? But you know, the people that come to that kind of party, their agenda is, as Gunnar just said, love, tolerance. That's our code. And you're not going to have some crazy guy in the corner putting a lampshade on his head.
And you're talking about real things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things
But
that matter.
it was a very enjoyable gathering.
Thank you.
Very enjoyable. I was trying to tell my wife, now I'll have to be 75 years old to get the 25 that Jim has. And I don't know if the good Lord's going to keep me around that long, but if He does, I'll let you throw me my 25th party. How about that? Robert, the next time I see you, You'll be retired.
That's right. Yep.
You
Won't
gonna
be
shed
long.
a tear?
I don't know.
Okay. We could play Old Lang Syne for you on Friday. By the way, we've got an incredible guest on Friday, Pastor Black, who just took over Point of Grace. And I like this guy. This guy's neat. I met him a couple times, heard him sing at a funeral. Him and his wife and his daughter are incredible musicians. And we'll be going through the pastor's questions this Friday on Ask the Pastor here on The View from a Pew. So, until I see you again, you know what I'm going to ask you. Maybe you've already turned off the radio. Maybe this really drives you crazy when I ask you to do this. Or maybe it's been a blessing in your life. Pick that person that you just haven't been able to forgive, and you've let them live rent-free in your head for all these days, months, years. Today, on your knees, give that resentment to God and offer forgiveness. We'll see you next week.